Tommy exited the prison gates with his belongings and 25 sacks of cards and letters he received while he was inside, and he's read them all. But interestingly, there was no mainstream press in evidence. They'd all turned up on Friday when Tommy was meant to be released, except for the intervention of a government minister who told them to keep him incarcerated until the last possible minute. But massed paparazzi there was none today. Anyway, Tommy was in exceptionally good spirits and welcomed everybody personally. And he told me he was going to get rid of the excess bristles and hair sometime today. So if the uniparty establishment blob thought they'd beaten Tommy down, they've got a bit of a shock coming to them. He's obviously fired up and ready for the political and lawfare fight of his life. No wonder they're all after him. They know he's going to make political waves, but more like a political tsunami. Oh, and note the crucifix. And he was true to his word. He did get rid of the Tommy Robinson Crusoe look that very morning. Here are the before and after shots. And after he had made his statement outside the prison, a group of about 20 of us descended on the White Hart in Ampthill and ate all their breakfast provisions. And a damn good breakfast it was too, especially with the addition of very nice black and white puddings supplied by Tommy's mum, no less. Now here's the excerpts from Tommy's speech. I've left some out because those comments might, I say might, be sub judice as they relate to Tommy's case coming up in the Westminster Magistrates Court on the 5th of June. But you'll get the gist of it and see he's still as energetic and committed as ever.
Since year 8.
Excellent stuff. So Tommy, it's so great to see you. You've been incarcerated in this horrible place since October. Can you tell me, first of all, how are you? How are you feeling, boss?
I feel good. Unfortunately, in a country that doesn't believe in free speech, being a citizen journalist, this place is an occupational hazard. It's ridiculous. 16 years ago, when I first started speaking out against Islamic rape gangs that were plaguing this country, from that point on, I faced relentless attacks from the British state, wielding lawfare as a weapon in order to silence me. I have never been convicted by a jury. Every one of my convictions have been handed down to me by judges. The lucky thing with this, everyone got to see the film. I have to say thank you to Elon Musk, because without X, if we didn't have X, everyone would just think I lied. No one would have got any other narrative. Fortunately, I think, 167 million people saw the truth. So that gagging order, these attempts at censorship, to silence, to cancel people, it hasn't worked. You've attempted to lock up the truth, and that truth has been echoed around the entire globe. It couldn't have been any more successful. I knew exactly what I was doing when I released that film. I knew I'd end up in there, and I also knew they'd give them every opportunity to pull every trick they wanted to, from messing with visits, to messing with phone calls, to messing with food. I knew that. But I made the decision to release that film because the British public deserved to see the truth. For too long, since the start of my activism in 2009, police raids, court cases, I actually thought when I walked out of here this time, it would be the first time since 2009 that I haven't been awaiting trial or prison. And bang, I'm awaiting trial and prison on multiple cases again now. But I've watched from the start of my activism. First of all, I saw Geert Wilders. Geert Wilders was targeted with hate speech laws and prosecutions. I've looked in America. This is the playbook that's played out across the entire globe. If we look in America, look what they've done to Steve Bannon. Look what they've done to Alex Jones, £1 billion. Donald Trump would face the rest of his life in prison if he did not win that election. Look now recently with Marie Le Pen. They've stopped her standing. Look at Katie Hopkins in our country. They took her home. They took her family home. Lawfare has been waged against anyone who has challenged the globalist narratives, challenged open border, challenged mass immigration, even challenged any of it. They come at you from every angle. That's what I've experienced, but fortunately, If you wouldn't, if Elon Musk did not purchase X, I don't think that people understand the importance of it. If he didn't, you'd have been lied to about this entire case. If you go on my Wikipedia page and read all my previous convictions, this would have been another one where they'd have told you I lied. They'd have get, what did you see? If you're one of the people that watched that film, you might not have believed me before. You may have hated me based on a narrative spoon-fed to you by a media who want to tell you who we are. They want to tell you how to think. And I knew in that documentary, that painted a far bigger story than me. That was a story of any whistleblower, anyone. You've seen in my film how they silence people, NDAs, bullying, intimidation, scare tactics, and even attempts at prison. But one positive, even General Flynn, look what they've done to General Flynn in the United States. Everyone has faced it, but I'd like to take a positive rather than continue negatives. What is the positive? Did their gagging order work? Did it work? 167 million people saw that film. Do you know the moment I had in the first week of January? Because this could have gone the other way. That I could have released that film. They could have managed to censor it, which they did off all other platforms. There's only X and Rumble. They're the only ones that they're not able to control. If Elon hadn't have bought it, no one would have seen that film. Everyone had been lied to. But instead, 167 million people saw the truth. You saw how they weaponised the judiciary. You saw the corruption, the blatant evidence of the corruption that no media and no journalists have spoke about. And then the Attorney General made it clear I was going to face continued prosecutions. I would have had indefinite prison sentences for a film as a journalist. But the best moment for me when I was in there was when I heard that Elon Musk had shared the Britain documentary. The Britain documentary series is the most important work I've done. They have attempted, before my activism in 2009, they'd successfully, for decades, covered it up. Who had covered it up? Politicians, police forces. In every constituency where those gangs had raped, they'd successfully managed to cover up. Now, the truth is out there. There is no amount of lawfare that can keep it hidden. Everyone knows what's happened.
If you remember, Tommy, the last time I saw you was on the 6th of January when I visited this prison, and on that day, I was with someone else, and if you remember, Elon Musk had chucked Nigel Farage under the bus, and you were so elated and you were happy, and at that time, you was in segregation. Since then, people have moved into the same unit you were in. How has that affected you?
So I haven't seen anyone who's moved into that unit. So when I come into this prison, there was they gave me 40 cells. So we keep hearing about prisons being full. When I landed, I had 16 cells, and then I was taken through. Do you know what I've done? I've had the best opportunity. I've had 7 months of interviewing staff. I've been on the separation centre. That's where I was having my days. When you come and visited me, it was the first week of January, right?
That's correct.
I was elated because I knew that this had been successful, that the public had seen the truth, that they could be lied to no more, that more people around the entire world were talking about of a generation of our daughters, which has been facilitated and accommodated by our government. So, yeah,
On the 5th of June, you will be appearing in Westminster Magistrates Court charged with an offence. And what do you have to say to all of those people who will be coming down on the day to support you?
You saw how they politicised the courts and the judiciary against me, but what you saw last summer was Keir Starmer, and it's now been proven as lies. When the riot started, Keir Starmer came out and said it was the far right, it was the English Defence League. That's what the police and the government has said. Now we now know it's proven there was no far right, there was no English Defence League. The English Defence League ended a decade before it. These buildings are full of violent criminals. Lucy Connolly's not a violent criminal. Lucy Connolly made a statement. She was angry. She deleted it and apologised. She got 3 years. If you watch my film, you saw Antifa extremists come to my family's home, threaten to murder them. They don't get arrested. They politicised the courts. They politicised the judiciary. That was to scare you, to scare the public into it, and to intimidate them into silence. That was the purpose. That was their goal. That's what their goal was. Have they been successful in doing that? I want to talk about the United Kingdom on the 13th of September. I've come out of here. There is a war being waged on Britain, and it's being waged by our leaders, and it's a war against free speech. Our weapon is free speech. They can't allow it, because if everyone can exercise their free speech, if we have platforms for free speech, we can highlight their abuses, we can highlight their corruption. On the 13th of September, we held We started organising United Kingdom rallies. I think the last one had over 100,000 people. We want to hold a free speech festival in London as a show of defiance. And at this free speech festival, it's going to be United Kingdom /MAGA/Mega. United Kingdom, because people, and I'm sorry in Scotland, I'm sorry Wales, I'm sorry Northern Ireland, it's going to be in our capital city again. It has to be. People coming from every corner of the globe, speakers from Australia, from Canada, from America, from Denmark, from Germany, from Holland, from Poland. We're not just uniting the kingdom, we're uniting the world. And London is going to be the centre for it. It's going to be a festival of free speech. It's going to be a day of celebration to celebrate our weapon and to celebrate what they hate most, which is free speech. So if I can do 7 months in there for free speech, you can do a day in London, 13th of September. Book your travel, book your hotel, bring your families, bring your smiles, bring your flags. If anyone's been to the last ones, they're amazing days out. They're brilliant. So get yourself there. That's my message. If you've followed my story in the last 18 months, just in the last 18 months, I went into London to attend an anti-Semitism rally, and I was targeted by the police as a journalist. I was violently attacked. I was pepper sprayed at point blank range. Then I was arrested. I was charged. For 6 months, I was banned from my capital city. It cost £40,000. We won the case. The judge found that everything they'd done was unlawful. No one gets punished on their side. I had 6 months not allowed into my capital city. I didn't get the £40,000 back. We didn't get any of the money back. We had that. Now, I've just had an 18-month prison sentence for making a documentary as a journalist. 18 months in prison. Counter-terrorism. Counter-terrorism detained me the day after a £100,000 celebration. I was detained under counter-terrorism legislation where they told me, we don't suspect you of any crime. We know you're not a terrorist, but we want access to your mobile phone. I refused to give them access to my mobile phone because as a journalist, where I believe in free press and a free country and free speech, I don't believe the state had the right to intrude on who my source of information are. So I was charged and prosecuted with counter-terrorism. I now face a 10-year prison sentence for that. And Keir Starmer has the audacity to sit in the Oval Office and talk about free speech and lie about free speech to JD Vance and President Trump. There is no free speech. The best thing about this is everyone in every corner of the globe knows Britain is a total embarrassment. They are traitors to our forefathers who sacrificed everything for freedom, and they're taking it away, not from me. This isn't about silencing me. Every part of this is about stopping you. It's about censoring you. They don't want you to see the truth. They want to control you. They want to tell you how to think about me, how to think about everyone, everything. And what we saw with the United Kingdom rally, as people were massed in their 100,000, and what you've seen with the recent election, is the public are awake. And mass awakening has happened. It continues to happen. The more they target us, and to the establishment or the people making these decisions with these court cases, it's stressful, but you've given me another opportunity. When you pumped me for this film, it had 200,000 views. It's now on 167 million. You're going to awaken more people because all I'm going to do is piece together what you've done, your lies, the attacks that the media have done, and the public are going to see it. So even if you send me to jail again, you don't control every social media anymore. You don't no longer have the monopoly. You used to attack us like this, and no one will be able to see the truth. No one will be able to watch these videos. Instead, now people are going to be able to see it. People can watch it again. I'm looking forward to September the 13th. I'm looking forward to getting back to my family. They know, I said, like, they know what locking someone up. I spent the entirety of that sentence in solitary confinement against the advice of the medical teams in that prison, against the advice of independent medical teams that come in, against all of it. Do you know who's not on solitary confinement? Axel Rudikubana. Not spent one day on solitary confinement. If you could see what's going on inside these prisons, it's terrifying. They control every prison in the country. The government don't know what to do. Do you know, I said thank yous. I thanked Elon Musk. I want to make sure there's so many people I need to personally thank. I want to thank the Petersons. I want to thank Tammy, who travelled to his jail but wasn't allowed in at the same time that they were cancelling all my visits. I've got so many personal thank yous to give out. I'll miss people and I'll forget people. Ezra Levant, I'm going to go see him now. Yeah. Ezra has continuously had my back. I think everyone needs a friend like Ezra from Rebel Media. He's continually helped me. He's helped my family and been in contact. Do you know they cut any contact with Ezra? I wasn't allowed any contact with him in there because they probably knew that he was the one man that could have helped. And I believe I'd have been out of jail if I'd had direct contact with